Bruce Bochy, the manager of your Texas Rangers. Boch, how you doing today?
Hey, guys, I'm doing well. How's things?
Things are great here. I was just about to ask these gentlemen here, Derek, Mike here, what is the 4th of July like for you guys, lifelong baseball guys, considering that you're often at work?
Yeah, well, being in Boston, you would think it'd be a real big deal for us. But with that long day we had to travel the day before getting here, guys were exhausted. So I don't know how many stayed up to watch the fireworks and walk around a little bit. Once we get back to the hotel, I'll be honest, I didn't make it long. So, it was a quiet day for us. It was packed here, but as far as seeing fireworks and stuff, we didn't see it. Now, with that said, when I've had night games, in particular, San Diego puts on a spectacular show. And so it was always good, to have an evening game where after the game you go out and watch the fireworks. Families would go out on the field and everything. But as far as the food after the game, wasn't hamburgers like you think. Here we're in New England, so we had lobster, a lot of seafood and stuff. So the boys ate well last night.
Well, glad to hear that. I mean, I know part of what made the day long was just that significant rain delay. And again, baseball life for Bruce Bochy. What are your favorite memories when it comes to rain delay, whether it's being a player or a manager?
Oh, man, my worst one, geez, I go back to Philly. We had a doubleheader, and we had a long rain delay. They were determined to get this in. I think we started. Now, we'll have to look it up, or I'll have to look it up. Next week I'll tell you how close I am. But I think the second game started at 1 in the morning.
Oof. And
so we played till 4 in the morning, and we had a day game the next day. And so that's how crazy it was. And you're talking about some exhausted guys. I mean, we were cooked. And so anyway, that's the worst one I can think of. The other one that probably I was the most nervous in was in L.A., and I'll try to be quick on this one. We had a rain delay. Joe Torre was managing the Dodgers. So he said, Bruce, I'm not going to use my starter. We think rain's going to come about the second or third inning. Then there's a big window. Well, I did the same thing. So instead of starting Lincecum, I started a guy named Mota. But anyway, Timmy comes in. It was clear for like the first hour and a half, 2 hours. So when I put Timmy in, then the rain came like an inning and a half later, whatever. So Timmy waited over an hour. So I'm going to scratch him, right? And Timmy goes, oh, I'm used to this. I grew up in Seattle. We do this all the time. So between the training staff and Rigetti, we were comfortable. And sure enough, he went out and finished the game, got the win.
Love that. Boch, I was curious, we're getting close to the All-Star break. I know there's a little bit of a panic here. How do you feel about it? Is there any sense of urgency right now, or you feel comfortable with where we're at?
Oh, man, I couldn't be more comfortable. If you told me when the season started we'd be in this situation heading into the All-Star break, I'd have done cartwheels. I mean, come on, this is where you want to be. So, no, we lost some tough ones there in Houston, but, hey, it's what you have to deal with. We've talked about the ebbs and flows of a season. But, no, I feel really good where we're at. Now we got a couple tough games here. Finish up in Washington. They're playing better. But, nobody I don't care what happens up until the break. And we talked about it yesterday, how we got to keep our focus here. But, no, I'm very happy with where we're at.
Boch, I have one more rain delay question, just because I have not played the Boston Red Sox since 2001, and that is definitely the smallest clubhouse, probably the worst place to have a rain delay. Is it still that bad? Is there another clubhouse where having a rain delay as a player and the amount of space is worse?
Oh, man, I tell you what, I'd say Wrigley was worse than this, but they've expanded Wrigley, so it's nicer there now, including the manager's office. Now, this manager's office is, I think, way nicer than what they had at Wrigley until they remodeled it. But, no, it hadn't changed much. bunch of card playing. It's cramped. Meetings are cramped. The pitchers' meetings are all in the coach's room, and then when the hitters have their meeting, they have to cram in there. So no, it's tight. Kitchen's small. It's got its charm and everything, but you get spoiled with the new ballparks, especially ours. I mean, ours is incredible, as you know. So it was a little tight quarters in here for a couple hours.
We're talking to Rangers manager Bruce Bochy, and every time he joins us, that's brought to you by Louisiana Hot Sauce. And Bruce, before we got to the rain delay, Dane Dunning was on the mound, and he had just another fantastic performance. 6 innings pitched, only 4 strikeouts in that way. What has he been doing from your perspective that's made him so good this season?
You know what? He just gets movement both ways on the ball so well. I mean, the sinker. I mean, it can fade. I mean, he's got the cutter to go in and lefties, the changeup away on him. He's got the curveball. He just commands it so well. But it's movement, as you know. He doesn't power his way through lineups, but he just got great movement. The ball's it's sailing, sinking. Sometimes I don't know if he knows what it's doing at times. Obviously, he's doing something. I mean, he's 4th in the ERA in the American League. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? So, but he's keeps it down, keeps on the ground. He I think one game where he had 9 or 10 strikeouts, but normally that's not him. He puts in play, has a good pace. He holds runners well. You saw the double play ball yesterday. Fills his position well. So he's just a complete pitcher with a 4-pitch mix.
Boch, with the pitching staff, the starting rotation, do you feel just as confident as you did before with how they are right now? I know we're kind of in a little bit of a slump with some of the pitching. Martin hasn't been the Martin that we've seen in the past. How do you feel with the starting rotation right now?
Well, you know what? I feel good with them. You look at Heaney's last start; that was outstanding. Nate. You look at Dunning, how they're throwing the ball. Now, to your point, Martin's a tick down. I'll be honest. Got to be a little concerned there with not just his workload this year, but you look at that WBC. That when he went there, I had a little concern. I've been through it with pitchers. They ramp it up early. The intensity in that World Baseball Classic I'm talking about, that's just an extra load on them. So Mike and I are talking about what we can do, maybe help him reset, get him back on track. Now, I will say it was a tick down 2 or 3 starts ago, then it ramped back up. So, it can be an up and down thing sometimes with pitchers. But with him, I know last year he was just so consistent with it. So that's why I'm bringing this up. So we haven't done anything, but to your point, well taken. Yeah, we have talked about it.
Do you think that we would see more of Cody Bradford to help out with the separation, maybe doing a little bit of a 6-man rotation just to give a little, I don't know how you want to put it, a little space between for Martin and some of those other guys to get back into their groove, but keeping Eovaldi on a 5-day?
Yeah, I do. That's why we've already done it with him. He's up here. He's stretched out. You can see that happening real soon, to be honest. It does give those guys added rest. Now, we did talk about having Nate go one more day. I know he was excited about pitching here in Boston. As you know, his time here and his history. He loves his ballpark. But and then we'll have the All-Star break. So coming out of that break, we're going to line it up to where we think who needs the most rest and who we need to give a break to be honest. So all these things are things we're looking at now. Andrew will get an extra day to help him out with him going on paternity leave, but he'll be here Friday and then he'll pitch Saturday.
Boch, have you ever had a team with this many babies?
No, man, we're on the run. I tell you, I was telling Andrew, I'd talk to him and see how he was doing. had twins. So I said, well, I get 2 cigars in, right? So well, we're not running out of cigars here, but no, boys were active, weren't they, last year? Winter.
Yeah, solid off season. Now, when it comes to this trade deadline, you guys got Chapman from the Kansas City Royals. I know you've kind of answered that, on television, but you haven't talked about Chapman with us. How excited have you been to have that phone say, hey, get Chapman going, and he's putting up some zeros for you?
Oh, man, I tell you, I couldn't be more excited to have him. We saw him firsthand, and he's thrown as well as he was throwing, 8-10 years ago, whatever. It's just come out so well. He made us a better bullpen, a better pitching staff. Today, he's the guy at the end. Hopefully, we can get there. But if it's a safe situation, he would have it today. And we'll kind of look at pockets, because Smitty has done a good job. I know, questions, that came up. He couldn't quite hold that 1-run lead against Houston, but his body of work has been really good too. So you look at Sporzy, and he had a hiccup against Houston too. But there's 3 guys there with just consistent stuff that have been doing a great job for us. Anderson's helped out, so we've been working with this bullpen, but I just feel like it's starting to come together now.
And the other thing too, Butch, I had somebody ask me, actually a Ranger fan today, going, hey, how about Chapman throwing a couple innings in one appearance? And I said, man, I'm pretty sure that Chapman is just a 1-inning guy. I don't think they want to put him in the dugout and bring him back out. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I know he's done it. I don't think he's a big proponent of it. I think it takes a toll, especially when you're trying to use them as much as you can. Now, I wouldn't rule it out. Be honest with you, we brought it up. He really didn't go back-to-back that much with Kansas City. They really they took care of him, protected him, because, last year he got off track and probably got overused a little bit. So, but, as we get into this thing, I would not rule that out. I certainly wouldn't. In fact, he threw an inning against us in Kansas City, and I think he only threw like 10 pitches, 12 pitches maybe. And I didn't know if he'd go back out or not. I was hoping he would not go back out, and he didn't. And, we ended up winning the game. But they were protecting him there too.
Now, Boch, yesterday I was really happy to see Mitch Garver go deep. Obviously he's had a slow start to the season. What is he doing to turn around that slow start?
Yeah, we've talked. I know Mitch, he'd like to get his playing time ramped up. And, again, it's about production. Guys get hot. Duran, and, I don't know if anybody saw him getting all this time he's got, but, he's earned it. And Mitch had some setbacks. He hurt his knee. He was out 6 weeks. So now he's got to try to find it again. And then had the elbow thing. He missed 2 or 3 days there. But to answer your question, that's the Mitch we're hoping to have here the second half, the way he attacked the ball yesterday. And so I'm going to throw him back in there today. This will be a little tougher matchup. This guy's got a good 2-seamer. He's got 2 fastballs, but with righties, he'll use the 2-seamer a little bit more. And so anyway, and same with Robbie. Robbie, he hit a little tailspin there. So those 2, what a shot in arm they were. They were pretty much most of the offense yesterday. So they both earned another game here today.
Boch, I was just kind of curious. As obviously you've won a couple rings. How does this offense compare to your offenses from those times? Because I feel like we have a very strong offense, and obviously winning a couple rings, you clearly had good offense too then. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think you look at this offense, it's probably the most explosive out of the teams I've had. You've seen the big numbers we put up, the damage we do. You're looking at a lot of guys hitting over 20 home runs in this offense, including 30. My other teams, I think we had one guy, maybe 2, that hit 20. So this is the best offense. I'm talking about from Marcus all the way down to Leo. I mean, it's just a deep lineup, a lineup that can do a lot of damage. We have been shut down, and that's going to happen. But as far as runs scored, I don't know if I've had a better offense.
Boch, last one from me. I saw yesterday that Josh Young and Ezekiel Duran went inside the Green Monster, and they saw Babe Ruth's autograph, and they saw all the history that's behind that Green Monster, and they got to sign the cement back there. How many times have you gone back there, and do you remember signing the wall?
I do. I've been back there a couple times. Once you open that door, you get in there. I guarantee you're looking down for rats. It's kind of dark and that way, but it's pretty cool when you go in there and see all the signatures, and how they keep score. With the putting the numbers, the metal numbers up there. So no, I was glad to see those two. I saw where they did go in there. It's really neat to see some of these young players that show interest in the history of the game, because I'll be honest, a lot of them don't. They couldn't tell you who some of the guys I played with that were great players. I mean, even somebody like Tony Gwynn. I know Josh is a baseball rat. I know Zeke is, so I'm not surprised I saw those two in there.
Boch, before we let you go, I do have to ask this real quick, because, if I was flying on the plane with you, I would, what I would probably wear, probably nothing or whatever. But Mike Bassick is going to be joining you guys on the flight home. Do you have any advice on what he should wear on the flight home?
On the flight home from Washington?
Sorry, I should have said that, from Washington.
Yeah. You know what? I won't be on that flight, Mike.
Oh.
You wear any costume outfit you want. You're going from there to Nashville, so you'll probably be on a light plane, because the All-Stars, they're going to head to Seattle from there, and a lot of guys are heading home. So no, bring the whole gang.
All right.
No, I can't do that. I wish I could, but no. It's going to be plenty of room, to lay down whatever. I think on that one.
All right.
We're casual. To be honest, we're not a sport coat. When I broke in, you had to wear a sport coat and slacks. But it's a little different now. We go casual. We jeans, collar shirt. And we do have these jumpsuits, or not jumpsuits. I guess that's what you call them, sweatsuits. That if we get in late in the night, that's what they wear. Tomorrow would be those. Most of the guys will be wearing those Texas Rangers sweatsuits.
Well, they may be casual on the plane, but he's the epitome of class in baseball. It's the Texas Rangers manager, Bruce Bochy. Boch, we always appreciate your time.
All right, guys. Good talking with you. Thanks.